Welcome everyone to session 2 of our president nominee training at Show Me Rotary. I am Will Colonna and I will be moderating this session. And as all of our sessions will be today, each session will be facilitated by one of your district governor nominees. Here's a brief reminder of the rules for attending a virtual session in Zoom etiquette. And they're very important that we follow these when they come up on the screen for the best experience for people today. At this time, I'd like to welcome District Governor nominee John Horton from District 6080, who will lead you through this session. John?
Thanks, Will. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Let me tell you a little about myself before we get started. My name is John Horton. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Springfield Southeast. I joined Rotary in January 2002 and was president for the 2010-2011 Rotary year. My two proudest things as president: the creation of the Don't Mess With Us program, where we go into every fifth grade class in Springfield to provide education about methamphetamines. We've continued this program every year since and expanded it to include a high school presentation. Plus, we have partnered with our two Interact clubs to provide an educational drug jeopardy game for middle schoolers. Secondly was the creation of the Rotary Club of Springfield Metro. In Springfield, we only had breakfast and lunch clubs. I felt strongly that if we had an evening club, we could recruit more Rotarians to do more good in our community and the world. We were able to charter the club with 63 members. After my year as president, I served as assistant governor for the 5 Springfield clubs from 2011 to 2014. On the business side, I graduated from Missouri State University with a degree in computer information systems. I spent 15 plus years working in the healthcare industry for a national software company. I left in 1999 to start my own technology sales and consulting business. After growing it to 25 employees, I sold it in 2017, but worked through the transition. In 2019, I started CIO Consulting Services. I provide fractional chief information and chief technology officer services to businesses that can't afford or need a full-time CIO or CTO. On a personal note, I'm the father of 2. My daughter Zoe is 23 and working towards a psychology degree. In her words, she can help people. My son Adam is 20 and attending Missouri Science and Technology, studying to be a chemical engineer. Thank you to everyone for stepping up to lead your club, to make an impact on your community and the world. So let's get started. This session, we will be discussing your role for the next 15 months to prepare your calendar of events, support your club president, become familiar with My Rotary and Rotary Club Central, and to use them to enter your club officers and goals. Now have the designation of president nominee, the title of club leaders during the year before being president-elect. Our Rotary year begins July 1. Just 3 months will be promoted to president-elect. In 15 months, you will be leading your club as president. Time will pass very quickly as you continue to prepare for your leadership role. So many things to learn about club meetings, training seminars, supporting your vibrant club activities. So much to do, so little time. I'm sure many of you have heard the phrases, plan your work and work your plan. And we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. As we discussed in our last session, our Rotary International leaders have put together an action plan, which gives us some high-level guidance. In this session, we'll work on your plan, your calendar, for the next 15 months as you prepare to be the best president your club has ever had, to take your club from good to great. Before I go further, I want to take a quick poll. Does your club have a calendar that is reviewed by your club board of directors and shared with members? Simple yes or no. Let's see the results here. Looks like the answers are coming in. Looks like 37% say yes and 63% no. Your pre-conference material, you all received a template to create your calendar. It starts with this week's Show Me Rotary That's Leadership Institute. It's also being posted in the chat for you today. Please have your calendar handy, as we will refer to it in this session. Many events and dates are set months in advance by your district support team. Things like the Spring District Leadership Assembly, technology training, and district conference. Many responsibilities as you support your club president, like planning the club installation ceremony, club assemblies, major fundraising events, selection of club officers, and club committee chairs. So many small, but very important events that you will want to be prepared for when you are president. The next few months will be time to work with your incoming president and get prepared for your dress rehearsal. It's never too early to start preparing events for your year as president. Let's take some time in breakout rooms to share some ideas on what a president nominee calendar will look like for each of you. What are you going to add to this calendar? What activities are important to your clubs? Each of our districts are a little different, as are each of our clubs. Let's share the power of collaboration and delve into preparing calendars. You will have 15 minutes in your breakout and then come back together to share some great ideas. Again, what are you going to add to this calendar? What activities are important to your clubs? Select a spokesperson to give a report. Have fun with this. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take 10 minutes to hear from our groups. Who wants to report first? Let's keep it brief. Please share the top item in a sentence or one breath. Will, would you help me call in the raised hands?
Sure thing, John. If you guys would just use the raise hand function like we did before. And if that's not working for you, feel free to drop it into the chat. So who wants to speak first? Let's see, Todd, I see you've got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and then we'll go to Melinda next.
So we talked about the social medias, more specifically, we talked about the group me for getting the calendar out there or getting the information out to the club members. A lot of great ideas. Every club does it a little differently. So implementation of the calendars, I like in our club. I don't think we had a running month, but we do our events on the calendars. So great information. Listen to your groups and take notes, because I'm sure it's going to help you in the long run.
That's awesome. Yes, calendars are amazing. Not enough of us are using them. We all agreed in our group that we need to get on track. We need to network with each other, because we are not islands on our own. We can be inspired by other clubs and other president nominees and what they're doing. But the most important part is collaboration in our club. And Tanya and my group had a great idea of doing an informal, like Rotary social, that's just focused on Rotary, not at the noon meeting, because not everybody can be there, after dinner, and just enjoy a strategic planning environment that's very casual, gives everybody a voice. And then we can remind people in our programs what some of those great ideas were, or great experiences in Rotary, really encouraging the energy of Rotary and the focus on Rotary in a quarterly or annual strategic planning event. That's fun.
Thank you, Melinda. Jerry Nolan, we'll go to you, and then David Fincher, you'll be after that. So feel free to go ahead and unmute. And a reminder, guys, if you can't raise your hand or if you have a thought, feel free to drop it in the chat as well. Jerry.
We kind of all talked about the calendar, and most of us have a way of sharing a calendar with events. We pretty much, it was a consensus that we've not sat down with our president-elect to talk about where we want to go and what we want to do, but we need to do that just so we're all on the same page there. We kind of morphed into a discussion about Zoom meetings and when we think we're going to get back in person. Really interesting idea. A couple of the clubs are hybrid, which they will meet 1 week in person for those people that feel comfortable with it, and then a Zoom meeting. And the ones that are in person, they do Zoom actually also. So I think that's a great idea. One of the things that we have found in my club is we've been able to expand our group of speakers by using Zoom. Other than the West Coast, we're a breakfast meeting and not too many people want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to meet with us, but it's helped. But we all need to sit down with our PEs and find out where we're going next.
Thanks, Jerry. David, you're up, and then Dell, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, I think the focus that we probably noticed we weren't doing was the bigger picture calendar versus the week-to-week calendar. Everybody's got to manage the weekly operations, and sometimes that gets in the way of making some of the bigger decisions. So one of the things that we suggested was carving out time in the weekly meeting every month, every quarter, to do some of these big things that increase participation and also let us make sure that we're not just coming to sit and listen, but we're also getting to learn and participate.
I think for our group, we talked about the fact that there are veterans in the group tend to know what's going to occur with the usual regularity, but we forget about the new members. And so we need to do a better job of publicizing what the year looks like so everybody can get excited about events, can plan for those events, and also to make sure that we give everybody a chance to participate in what they find exciting. And then also, I think it's important that we share that information with the other clubs around us. In my case, Columbia has 7 clubs. We've got Fulton, we've got Mexico, we've got Jeff City, we got Boonville. Put in there what the others are doing so we can support each other or deconflict so we don't step on some other club that may have a fundraiser going on too close to what we're going to do, or vice versa. So those are some of the things we thought about, doing a better job of publicizing long term.
Thank you, Dell. So we've heard from 5 groups so far. I think we had a couple others that we haven't heard from. I know that Heather Hargrove put in the chat that their group discussed the district level deadlines related to grants, officer election, updates, community involvement, service projects, RILA, group study exchange, social events could be included as well on that. Are there any other thoughts? Anybody else just want to have a thought to join? If you'd like to, just go ahead and unmute now. All right, John, it looks like we've shared all those ideas here, so I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thanks, Will. Appreciate it. Well, thanks for all this great information. Remember those relationships we started to build at the beginning of our last session? Stay in communication with your classmates as you continue with your calendars. When you hit a dead end or have a mental block, call someone to talk about it. Together, we can all be successful. Now I'm going to hand off to District Governor nominee Kent Shellman to lead you through some of the many resources available to support each of you now and through our leadership years. Kent?
Great. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. There was some great ideas in those calendars. I know the calendar I use for my district governor nominee year has been very valuable. So please use those calendars. We mentioned more than once now, you have a very important job this coming year, and that is to support your president. Your president's going to be really busy with running the club meetings, supporting committees, engaging members. So in thinking about that and what your current president does, and why don't you throw into the chat, let's discuss some of the things that you can do to help your president this next year. And Will, I think you're going to help me monitor the chat for that.
Yes.
So please put some ideas in there in the chat. I know your president's going to need a lot of help, and anything you can do would be beneficial for them.
And Steve Hunter with Bowling Green says he's going to help with organizing events for the club. And Rochelle Lemon says, volunteer to take on more without being asked for the East Clay Liberty Club. And
Well, this is Julie. Tanya remarked, I think she meant to go to everybody. She said volunteer for more commitments.
all right. Audrey Phelps says, work together to create a cohesive strategic plan that allows for a seamless transition. Dale Epperson says, be a sounding board. Melinda Free says, currently hosts Zoom meetings. She currently hosts the Zoom side of the meetings, and they meet in person in Zoom. So there's a need for 2 people with that dynamic. That is a challenge. I know my club has that same challenge. And so it's good to know that others are out there with the same challenge. Heather Hargrove says, engage to develop future leadership. Jenna says, actively look for needs. Kathleen Dolan from Columbia Evening says, focused on new membership to support her president. Ann Champ says to help to ID people to head up activities. Elda Seener says, meet with the PE and conduct a member survey to determine club goals. Dan from Smithville says to touch base on a regular basis to ensure that the incoming president is doing well and help take things off of his plate. It's a great idea. Elaine from Lee Summit says, manage feedback from members for the president. Lisa says to meet with the president to discuss their objectives for the Rotary year and what she wants to accomplish in to discuss what they want to accomplish in both, their and her year, so that they can collaborate throughout both terms and identify tasks that they can take on that accomplish those goals. Isabel Jimenez Walker from Springfield North says that her president and her are texting during training, communicating their ideas right now. So they're actively engaging right now. That is really, really cool. And Audrey Phelps says she's doing the same thing with her president. That is cool. That's great to have that dialogue, guys. One last comment here from Chuck Doss says he's going to help implement their initiatives and plans to be a consistent and positive voice supporting the club and the president. So looks like that's everything that we've got in the chat right now, Kent.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, those are just some great ideas. That president just needs your support to be there. And you can just learn so much watching what's happening during the Rotary year. All those were just some great ideas, but let's dive into a few opportunities which can really help your club president. Assess what's going on now at your club. Look at, just all the different opportunities that could be there. Take care of mechanics and collaborate with members. Remember, getting everyone involved in putting a plan together just provides a greater level of success for your club. These are just a few of the ways. And assess and analyze your club trends. What kind of foundation giving, what kind of public images are you doing? Do you have a public image chair? Help with that if you can. Do some membership things, help your membership chair to try to build and get new members, new ideas of getting new members. Positive trends, things that are really working well for your club, help with those and try to remember those for your year. Observe new opportunities. There's just so many things that go on at the Rotary, and you got different members that can really help and engage those members to help with those new opportunities. Draft an action plan. What do you plan to accomplish? Start thinking about that even for your year. And like some of you said, figure out a strategic plan and then help engage that and get it ready for your year. Develop and evaluate your club's strategic plan, action plan, and just make sure it's current and relevant. If you've had one, I've been a strategic planning chair for several years, and I've gone back and updated that after 2 or 3 years, and it's amazing into some of the new stuff that you can see that your club's done. And then you forgot about some of those ideas you had 3 years ago. And so now you can implement those. Club and member assessment is real key. And you could try to do some member surveys. The president's so busy, but if you can do some of the surveys, and that'll probably even help you in your year down the road. Inter-club goals and annual goals and officers in the Rotary Club Central. And discuss goals with members, making sure all your membership is updated in DAC-DB, Club Runner. It helps just to be able to do all these reports, as you'll see. And when you do goals, just keep updating and discussing those with all the members of your club. So in the we're going to go to depth and do a poll now. Couple of questions on a poll. The first one is, how many have you logged into My Rotary and Rotary Club Central? And again, please be honest, these really help us to analyze all the different clubs. So yes or no? Both great tools to use. And we'll discuss that here in a little bit. So what do we have for an answer? Looks like everybody's voting. Okay, very good, over half, so that's good, 53% and 47. So that's a good start. The second question we have you logged into the Rotary Learning Center? It's a great new tool and they just keep adding to that every year or every day almost, it seems like, new programs. So yes or no on that? Have you logged into the Rotary Learning Center? I know there's all kinds of new tools for our district governor training that I've used, and they're amazing. And you can find answers to about everything in those things. So I think the answers are about done, and about a fourth of you. So hopefully you'll learn some things about that as we go through the programs today and start educating yourself on that. In your pre-conference materials, you received some job aids on accessing some of these systems that Rotary has. But we're posting those into chat too, so in case you didn't get those. Let's take a couple of minutes here to review some of these tools. These tools take you through the process of My Rotary account and using some of the many features of My Rotary. We don't have time today to go through all the technical training. We do have other information and other sessions on what tools you can have to evaluate and to educate yourselves and access the resources available. The handout on the My Rotary account is really a great tool. It explains exactly, like I think it's 9 points of getting set up and signed up. It's really easy, just a few clicks and then you're ready to go. Each district has their own specific training assemblies for learning how to do using some of these tools. But we wanted to hit some highlights of the My Rotary today. The first one is club trends. Again, this is all done, and these reports are done by making sure all the information on your club members are present and you've entered all that. Reviewing your club membership trends can be a valuable tool in assessing where your members are and what areas and opportunities you might have in expanding your club. Club trends not only shows your membership numbers, but it also gives age and gender. It's very important that you have your members' birthdays in the system to get accurate information also. And you can see by some of these graphs are real helpful in analyzing your club. And you can see over to the left, there's all kinds of different types of reports that you can get from My Rotary and Rotary Club Central. The second slide that we want to talk about is entering the officers. It may be a small task, but it's really important so that your club, all your club boards and can analyze your club and how you might move forward. Some of you use DACDP and Club Runner and Rotary Club Central. It all depends on making sure you have all that information in there. It maintains the continuity of leadership at all levels, and entering this data is just a breeze, and you'll see it in the handouts on how easy it is to do. The third thing we want to talk about is club goals, and all that can be entered, and the handouts will show you how to do that. Club goals are designed to assist you with the club action plan or strategic plan. They provide you an organized way of setting up the plan for your success in the coming years. They also very easily made a tracking method for you to measure your success as you go through that, and just making sure somebody in your club is constantly updating that information. It's a task to enter that, but it's really a responsibility for your club members that you get that information in there. Encourage your club to make progress towards achieving these goals and make sure you're sharing that constantly with them. Your club goals entered in Rotary Club Central database also helps at the district and the international level as a total organization. And they can kind of drive and see what things they might want to do to help at the district level and the club level. It would be very beneficial to get familiar with My Rotary and all the information that's in there. Like I said, it's really easy to use, and it's just amazing some of the reports that you can find, even on yourself and your club. My Rotary is a great resource, not only but for your club officers and also the general membership. It has many resources to assist you to write up your club action plan and also to create that Rotary strategic plan. Well, I think I'm done if you want to take it over.
Thanks, Kent. During this session, you've had another opportunity to hear from your future district governors, share more stories about your clubs, and get involved in ways you can support your club president now as you prepare for your year as club leader. Thanks for being an active part of this session. We are running a little bit ahead of schedule, so where we were supposed to have a 10-minute break, it's going to be a little bit more extended break. So when you come back, you will join plenary session 2, and we'll get to hear from Rotary International President-elect Shaker Mehta. He is only the 4th Indian in the 115 years of Rotary to be nominated as president, and he's the incoming president for 2021-22. He's a member of the Rotary Club of Calcutta, Mahanagar, served as district governor in 1999-2000, and was elected to the board of directors of Rotary International for the period of 2011 to 2013. So please join us at 12:05 sharp on the landing page, and we'll hear from Shaker Mehta. Have a great break.